So the first item that we're going to cover is going to be the MPD 3-to-1 application being applied for lowering purposes. So on the MPD here, we're going to manipulate it appropriately. We're going to go ahead and start lowering our load until the knot approaches the back side of the MPD. As that knot approaches, we're going to slow down, we're going to stop the load. We're going to go ahead and engage the locking element of the load, putting the MPD in the parking brake position and ensuring that it's fully engaged. We can either finish the lock-off tie-off on this MPD or simply manage this hand position while another individual comes up and rigs in the MPD 3-to-1Z. So Scott's going to go ahead and come in. He's going to take that CMC 3-to-1 that we have pre-built. He's going to clip it onto a subsequent hole in the rigging plate. And we're going to attach that primary prusik at the end or the tail of the 3-to-1Z onto the tension line. Right there's good. So if you think about the application of this, even though this is pre-configured in a 3-to-1Z drag, because of the design of the MPD and the ability to play out this system, the only potential thing we would have to do is mind that prusik on the Z-drag application to ensure that it doesn't load and us potentially load the backside. But if we're okay with the whole system playing out a short distance, we can rig it in, simply allow the load to pass to this component, and then transfer that load. So as soon as this system is in place, we're going to pull tension on it. So we can either transfer the load by hauling on the CMC MPD 3-to-1 that we've piggybacked. When we haul up on that, it's going to move the load back up a slight distance, but take the load off of this primary system. Or we can simply lower on the primary MPD until the load is assumed by the secondary MPD component. So we're going to go ahead and lower on the primary MPD. We're going to take the parking brake mechanism off. We're going to make sure that our soft lock is undone. We're going to go ahead and gauge our friction device. And we're going to lower that primary MPD component. We've given ourselves enough slack between the knot and the back of the system until the load is transferred to the secondary or piggyback component. At that point, we can quickly unrig our primary MPD, get the knot on the front side of the MPD, put our MPD back into the system, tension this up so that the load is on the front side of the MPD, and then we're simply going to engage the lowering element on the MPD of the secondary piggyback and lower this load until the load is now transferred back to the primary lowering line. So Scott is going to go ahead and engage the lowering or friction device component on the piggybacked MPD. We've got our knot all the way to the front side of our primary MPD. You can see that secondary line traveling until the primary line gets loaded. Once the primary line is loaded, we can then pull slack on the secondary or piggybacked MPD, unrig our attachment point onto the primary line, and we're ready to go back into lowering operations on our primary MPD system.